Our thoughts are with our community, and we want everybody to come out of this okay.
The rollback to 50% capacity kicked in at 8 o'clock this morning, just days before Christmas. The impact some business owners say it's having on their bottom line.
It started, February, March when this happened, and the staff and the employees in the entire industry has been really resilient.
Also tonight, how some bars were able to adapt before the rollback, what they did to avoid the sting of facing a potential shutdown.
Clouds already increasing, rain on the way for tomorrow.
Live from the KFDM studios, you're watching KFDM 6 News at 6.
Good evening, Southeast Texas. I'm Tiffany Murphy. Developing tonight, a business rollback is now in its 10th hour across the region, and based on COVID numbers from hospitals, it won't be over anytime soon. We just checked the regional tracking site for the 9-county area. It shows today COVID patients fill more than 21% of hospital beds. The state tracking site shows why we're in a rollback. 7 straight days through yesterday above 15% for COVID patients in hospitals. That includes Jefferson, Hardin, Orange, and 6 other counties. The rollback cannot end until we have 7 days in a row below 15%. The county tax assessor collector says it's a painful situation for business owners.
It's heartbreaking because, it's people's livelihoods, and unfortunately, it's the consequence of what's going on.
The governor's order cuts business capacity to 50%. It forces bars to stop indoor service and go to curbside delivery unless that bar has converted its license to operate as a restaurant. Also, elective surgeries are postponed. But that rollback comes during the holidays, a time a lot of businesses are depending on makeup for all this lost revenue. KFDM's Rocio De La Fe joins us outside of a hair studio on Calder Avenue in Beaumont. What's the owner there telling you about this impact?
Well, Tiffany, as you can imagine, the rollback is a huge blow to businesses all over the region. And the owner here tells us that they don't know what else they can do besides pray for the best. And she says that the rollback comes at a time where business was finally just picking up. Businesses throughout the 9-county region, including Jefferson County, now tasked with making sure occupation does not exceed 50% capacity.
It seems like just when we started, to get ahead a little bit, this happens.
Businesses like Lattimore's Hair Studio in Beaumont is one of the many who will be affected.
They're talking about scaling back 50%, but we've never got to 100% yet. So we barely made it to 50.
The rollback comes as many business owners like Farron Morris were relying on the holiday rush to make up for months of no progress as a result of the pandemic.
Well, there's no way it won't impact our community, and we feel bad for the small businesses and those that their livelihood depends on, having people patronize their businesses.
County tax assessor collector Allison Nathan Getz says there's not much the county can do to avoid the economic impact the rollback will have.
As a county, we have to comply with the governor's orders, and so there's no choice in the matter.
In the meantime, Commissioners Michael Sinigo and Bo Alfred say the community has to rally behind small businesses so that they have a chance at staying afloat.
There's ways of shopping when you never leave the house. You're safe. You can still get everything you need.
I feel for them, and I'm thankful that finally the people in Washington finally got the message and started trying to do something to help people at home.
But for businesses like hair salons and studios, it won't be as simple.
When you scale down to a certain percentage in a hair salon, what do you have left? Right. 1 or 2 people. It's not worth paying a booth rent. It's not worth any of that stuff.
So how do you survive going forward?
Praying. We get a prayer.
And both commissioners we spoke to today say they don't want to speculate how long the rollback will last, but they do anticipate it'll be a while before businesses can increase capacity beyond 50%. Live in Beaumont, Rocio De La Fe, KFDM 6 News.
And tonight, planning ahead is paying off for a restaurant owner locally. KFDM's Paige Hubbard reports he avoided a shutdown but still faces a lot of hurdles before Christmas Day.
Bars in Jefferson County are forced to shut down, while businesses like Madison's are preparing for a scale back due to the rollback in Jefferson County. Madison's used to be a bar, but after the owner, Frankie Randazzo, realized he sold more food than alcohol, the governor's order allowed Randazzo to change his business's classification to a restaurant.
So we were able to do it very, very quickly, but some of the other places that have transitioned from bar to restaurant had to put a lot of money in and a lot of training and buy the inventory, and that's a significant cost at a time like this.
Fast Eddie's, Red's Ice House, and Little Woodrow's have all made the transition, leaving very few bars left in Jefferson County. Randazzo is thankful he escaped a shutdown, but his business will still be impacted by the rollback.
And you take out that 25% and you reduce it to 50% right before Christmas parties, right before New Year's. That can be a significant impact, but more importantly for us is the consumer confidence. The people that are maybe on the fence for going out might see this as, oh, it's more dangerous than it was before.
The good news is he won't be cutting staff, but limiting capacity will reduce revenue for his restaurant and his staff's paychecks.
What the industry is comprised of, it's mostly young people, servers, bartenders, hosts, cooks, things like that. And they rely upon those tips and they rely upon that daily cash to feed their families and pay the bills. And that's probably been the toughest thing for us.
Despite the challenges, the restaurant owner says he's going to remain positive and continue to protect his customers and staff by following all CDC guidelines. In Beaumont, Paige Hubbard, KFDM 6 News.
And Madison's tells us they are limiting the amount of seating inside. There are no restrictions, however, on outdoor seating, so the owner expanded his patio area and spaced chairs 6 feet apart. Beaumont's health department reporting another COVID-19 related death, this time in Mid-County. A 75 to 80-year-old woman died in Groves. She is the 8th person in Groves to die of COVID-related problems. The health department says she did have underlying health issues. Beaumont's health department reporting 85 newly confirmed cases today. That increases the total to nearly 6,400 since we started tracking. Deaths are unchanged tonight, 113. All but 8 of those had underlying health issues. Recoveries tonight topping 4,500. A longtime Jasper teacher has died after what her family calls a courageous 3-week battle with the coronavirus. Elaine Harrison taught in Jasper for more than 30 years at Parnell Elementary School. She got her college degree in 2000 after 25 years after graduating from high school. Anise told us Harrison put herself through night school and drove from Jasper to Beaumont every evening to get her teaching degree. She raised generations of children through school and church and loved children. You can go to our website for a link to a GoFundMe page. Money raised will help pay for a memorial pavilion in Elaine's honor. And tonight, a 59-year-old inmate sentenced to a little more than 7 years in prison is dead after contracting COVID. The Bureau of Prisons says Carl Merlot was in Beaumont's low-security federal prison. The Arkansas man found guilty of possessing child pornography had been at the Beaumont prison since 2018. He was taken to an area hospital, put on a ventilator where he later died. Prison officials say Merlot had a long-term pre-existing medical condition. Texas Governor Greg Abbott rolling up his sleeve today, receiving the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. The governor's office says health officials had urged the 63-year-old governor to get the vaccine in order to boost public confidence that the inoculations are safe. Newly confirmed cases and hospitalizations in the state are soaring at levels we haven't seen since the summer. The number of patients hospitalized with the virus statewide is back over 10,000 for the first time since July's peak. Abbott says he will not order a new round of lockdown measures.
There will come a time when there will be availability for everybody to have a vaccine. And we want to make sure that people in the state of Texas can have trust and confidence in this vaccine.
Another COVID vaccine from Moderna is arriving at hospitals and medical centers across the state.